Well, we're going to continue, guys, in our series. See if I can get this to come up.
Can I just ask what save is that from the scripture reading?
What's that?
One that said save me, I mean, that's the one without I could have stopped by on that.
We'll try to figure that out. Yeah, okay, you got it. You got it. Tonight, we're going to continue in this series through Luke. I know it's Easter. It should be rolling. Yeah, so we're good. Yeah. It should be Easter and an Easter message, and I feel like it is Easter, and it's going to be an Easter message. But I know that I'm supposed to tell a story, and I shared some of this at the Friday church a while back. But the other day, I was awakened at 3:30 in the morning to scream into Amanda's voice on 911. She was speaking to the 911 operator saying, "It's happening right now, it's happening right now." And I was in bed at 3:30 in the morning and was kind of paralyzed. I could not get up. I couldn't wake up fully. And I heard outside the house this awful scream, like rising up to the heavens kind of scream, you know. And what had happened was, well, my neighbor later told me in 30 years he'd never seen anything like it. A car was coming down the street, and I don't know where they were coming from. There was a young couple in the car. Could have been coming from a club, could have been coming from a party, could have been coming from a date. It could have been off on the side of the road getting high or doing whatever that they were doing. But they apparently got in a fight while they were driving, and that led the car to streak into the front yard of the house across the street from them. Right? And one thing led to another until the couple was out of the car, and the male was beating the female literally into the earth. And that's what was causing these screams to rise up. And while I'm hearing this, guys, I am paralyzed in bed, and I'm trying to get up, and I'm trying to get up, and I can't get up. And I finally get up, and I get some pants on and some shoes on, and I'm going to go run down, and I think, get your phone. And then I got my phone, and I don't know why I thought that it's happened to me a couple other times. Amanda can tell you where I just didn't wake up. And I got my phone, and this is the picture I took of my phone. Right when I took the picture, the car was speeding off, and what had happened was our neighbor, his wife, finally came out into her front yard and started to shout, "Stop it, stop it, just stop it, just stop it," because the violence had continued and continued and continued. And then I started to head down the steps. If y'all know our home, there's the white steps out front. I started to go down, and right then the car peeled off, and then I saw the car take off, and I saw two legs sticking out the driver's side door where the gentleman jumped in the driver's side door to try to wrestle the car back from the girl who was trying to escape. And I mean, it stopped my heart. And I don't know if you're tracking with this story, but it was so bad, and this man was so out of control. I ran back up the steps. I said, "I need my keys," got my keys, and I went and I got in my car. Right when I did, the police started pulling out, which is incredible that they responded as quick as they did. But I was pulling out because there was no way I thought this woman was going to survive. And I knew Amanda was out and about. She was talking to the police. I started driving. I combed those streets, and I never found her. But I did find him at a donut shop. And he saw me. I knew who he was, and I saw him. And I knew it was him, not by how he looked, but by the make of the car, all right? And he got in this car and pulled out of the donut shop parking lot and started to follow me. And he got right up on my bumper, and he was swerving behind me, he was looking at me. And I just played it cool, didn't panic, you know, and kept looking ahead, and I shouldn't have done this. I'm breaking the law, but you will forgive me, I hope. Called 911 and said, "My wife called earlier, placed a 911 call. I need to connect this call to that call." They immediately connected the call and called up the note and said, "What's going on?" I said, "I am being followed by the perpetrator right now." And right then, something must have hit this guy. And he hung a left on west, and he started going 90 miles an hour down west. And I tried to follow him, and the 911 operator said, "Stop following him, because now you're liable if anything happens." And I felt like God saying to me, "Stop." And I did. Off he went. I went back and drove through the neighborhood looking for this woman. thinking, if I could find her, if I could find her. 'Cause I know she wasn't in that car. I just had seen she was not in that car. I don't know where she was, and I never found her. And the reason why I'm sharing this story today is I've been thinking a whole lot about bullies and what we feel when we're in their presence. And if it was not for my amazing wife, I would probably be on medication right now, dealing with, and I'm not kidding, dealing with the after effects of what happened. Because I came home and I felt, not that like I had failed at work or I had failed even in a relationship, I felt I had failed at something massive that God gave me. And the next day we found out, a couple of the other guys in the neighborhood came out, saw the guy, and nobody rushed him. And I just thought, you know what? My neighbor's wife did. She came out and started yelling at him. I couldn't wake my sorry butt up. And I thought, what would it, somebody needed to shut that down. And you could say to me, John, you can't do that. You can't run out on somebody in a situation like that. Well, see, that's the problem. That's the mindset of someone who lives under the thumb of bullies all the time. In your mind, there's no way to overthrow the power of a bully. The bully is king. Their power controls you and presses you down. And you know where I'm going with this. Right now, guys, in our church community, there are human beings around us who are being moved by spirits. And those spirits are evil, they're negative, they're jacked up, and they are holding down people in our church community. Some are not here tonight, and some are. And if somebody doesn't stand up to those bullies, nothing is ever going to change. I had this guy say to me the other day, I gotta be careful what I say because we're live streaming. And it's in my notes, so I'm not going off my notes. I haven't said who the guy is or how I met him. All right? All I can tell you is I was talking about that moment in Peter's life when Jesus told Peter he was going to betray him, but after he was restored, strengthened the brethren. And this guy walked up to me and he said, I'm so glad you mentioned that story. And I said, why? And he said, because Jesus never told him, don't worry about sending him. Because it's just not a big deal, John. He was going to restore him anyway. And that is absolutely not what that passage is about. Are you seriously telling me it was better for Jesus, or not a big deal for Jesus, to have one of his best friends disown him and sell him out when he was in trial, deny that he even knew him? No way is that good for Jesus. Jesus needed somebody to wake up and to rush in. But it didn't happen for a bunch of reasons. And one of them was he was called to fulfill Scripture, to be our Messiah, to do all this stuff. And part of that came down, it was on his shoulders, and he had to walk into it. And as the Gospel of John says, nobody takes Jesus' life from him. He lays it down on his own accord. He knew what he was doing. Until someone faces a bully and shuts him down, no one's ever going to move forward. Now, I need you to stay with me right now, because how many of you know bullies? And so if you're not careful, what will happen right now is the bully's power will hold so much power even right now, you will not think about what comes next. You will get enraptured with that demonic negative fantasy of the power of the bully once again, and what you could have done or what you should have done. Let me tell you what has to happen. Someone has to look that liar in the face and shut him down. They got to be willing to stand in the reeking stink of the sin and deal with its full force. 2 barrels unloaded to the chest again and again and again. And that's what Jesus did for you and for me. And the trick with Jesus is a bully will never unload the full weight of his power if he thinks you're a peer. Because bullies are terrified of peers. They're terrified of anybody that can look them toe to toe. That's why it's so awesome that when Jesus went to the cross, He took into himself the Holocaust, the racism and negative of American slavery, the failure of the church over thousands of years, and the evil of secular man over thousands. He took it all into himself, all the junk that ever happened to you, and all the junk you've ever done, into himself. And when Satan saw that, he's like, got you. And the bully shows up. When the bully shows up, the bully always wants the best show today. They never want to wait. They want to do as much as they can for their audience now. And that's what he did. And Jesus knew that's what he was going to do. And he knew he smelled weak. In fact, 2 Corinthians 5 says that he who knew no sin became sin on our behalf. So don't tell me that Satan didn't see him as weak. He did. He saw him as totally weak. There is evil in this world, and it has to be named. We have to deal with it. It's intellectually lazy, and it's an act of spiritual cowardice to not name the thing that's bullying you. Second thing is this. Someone's going to have to stand and fight it. And it's Easter Sunday, so you know I'm going to say that Jesus did. But I want to talk to you about how he did tonight. All right? I want to talk to you about how he did. Scripture says that Paul is directing his church in Philippians 2, and he says, have this mind among yourselves, which is yours in Christ Jesus. He's talking to all of you and me. He's saying, hey, I want you to have this mind in yourselves. What's that mind? He says, the mind that's in Christ Jesus, who though he was in the form of God, did not count the equality with God a thing to be grasped, but emptied himself by taking the form of a servant, being born in the likeness of men, and being found in human form, he humbled himself by becoming obedient to the point of death, even death on a cross. In fact, Deuteronomy 21 says there was no worse way for anyone to die than on a cross. You've heard it quoted before, you probably heard it, but I want to read you the quote from Scripture, okay? If a man has committed a sin worthy of death, and he is put to death, hang him on a tree. And his corpse shall not hang all night on the tree, but you shall surely bury him on the same day. For he who is hanged is accursed of God. Jesus was nailed to a tree. In fact, on the day, on Good Friday, you know what my wife and kids and I were doing? We were chopping trees down, literally, on the property. It was kind of depressing. And then it was awesome that we got the trees out, because they're pretty scrubby. I got one tree that's leaning into my house right now. I got to get that thing moved, man. But I'm looking at these big stretches of wood, and I'm just thinking, I cannot imagine what that would be like being nailed to a tree. And I have to imagine it because it's not a myth. All right, we're not talking about the Iliad and the Odyssey, which the earliest manuscripts we have are 1,800 years after the death of Homer. Look, we're talking about a story that countless 1st and 2nd century documents testify to. That if you include the 3rd century, it's incredible, and their fidelity and agreement with one another is remarkable. And the death of Jesus, it happened, and that matters. And I could sell out and say, oh well, people, these Christians are crazy, or look at what the church has done. And I could sell out all day long and make it not about that man. But if I just shut up with all my obfuscations and just look at that man, look at Jesus and what he did, and why he did, and that he died, and how he died, and how he loved, it'll blow your mind. In fact, when he's nailed to that cross, man, everybody's crying. He's got this little cadre of ladies. Man, they're booing, they're crying. And this guy says, daughters of Jerusalem, do not weep for me, but weep for yourselves and for your children. Can you imagine that? In the moment of crisis, and literally, that word in Greek krisis means the moment of separation. He is about to go through the ultimate moment of separation that anybody's ever gone through in history. He says, don't weep for me. Weep for yourselves. Weep for your children. Then he says, Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they're doing. And that, I don't have any points on this. In fact, my note says, in the midst of his most terrible time, he was full of love. Which is pretty much like Christian cliche 101 right there, because I really don't know what to say about that. How do you stand in the path of the bully and all the people that the bully are manipulating and working through? Some of them are caught up in the fever of the mob. Some of them are being very calculated, know exactly what they're doing. And say, Father, forgive them the actions of it. Only Jesus. Only Jesus. And it says, for our sake, he made him to be sin who knew no sin, that in him we might become the righteousness of God. And I mentioned the first half of that passage, but listen to the second. Well, my buddy said to me, oh, it sure doesn't matter that Peter sinned. Isn't that awesome? The grace of God. I'm going to talk about the grace of God in a minute. Guess what? Jesus didn't die on the cross so that it didn't matter whether you or I sinned. He died on the cross so we could share in his righteousness. And you still can't achieve it. You never could. Because of that bully. But through him you can. Because of what he's done. Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. Notice the DNA symbols. All right? Thank you. I got to take my own slide more. I worked too hard on these slides to not talk about them at some point. Why did he want to do all this? Because he loves you and wanted to make you and I into new creations. In fact, he says, therefore, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. It means literally, my buddy Josh Alday always reminds me that new creation means you're a new species. You did not exist before, and now you do. Isn't that stinking awesome? The old has passed away. The new has come. And all this is from God, and through Christ reconciled us to himself. And then what did he do? He gave us the ministry of reconciliation. So boom, we're reconciled with Christ. It's John 17. We're reconciled with Christ, we're one with him. And then boom, we go out and we allow the world to become one with him through the message and the presence of Jesus moving and working through us and in us. That is in Christ. God was reconciling the world to himself, not counting their trespasses against them, and entrusting to us the message of reconciliation. Oh man, those people are really evil. But those people over there, they are really evil. That's what guys said to me at the park way back in the day when we did Nomad. Don't go over to those guys, Johnny. They're really evil. Well, Scripture says we can't count. God didn't count our trespasses against us. Did you catch that? I'm going to read it again. Not counting their trespasses against them. Oh, you sinned, you suck, you're canceled out. He never did that. Not with you and not with me. And entrusting to us the message of reconciliation. Therefore, we are ambassadors for Christ. God making his appeal through us. Richard Stearns, the president of World Vision. That's one of the verses that drives his life. In fact, you can't even get him to talk about it without him breaking down. The idea that God would make his appeal through us? That sounds crazy, President Stearns. And then let me tell you, I know a little something about that guy. Number one, he had a bunch of kids. Number two, I'm friends with one of them, Andy. And Andy told me he never heard his dad raise his voice to him in anger once his entire life. And a man like that, a father like that, amazed that God would use him as an ambassador. Because it is not the gifts that we bring to the table. It is the fact that God is doing this in us and through us. That is what's so amazing. And here's the mindset of folks who are being bullied. And let me know, well, you don't have to let me know right now, but be real with me. Let me know if this connects with you. You need to receive this. The people stood by watching, but the rulers scoffed at Jesus, saying, he saved others. Let him save himself. Is he the Christ of God, the chosen one? The soldiers also mocked him, coming up and offering him sour wine, saying, if you are the king of the Jews, save yourself. That is exactly how people who are being bullied all the time talk. Because all they think about all the time is you saving yourself. Well, why are you doing that? I'm doing it to serve others. In their mind, the thought bubble comes out, yeah, right. You're doing it to get paid. You're doing it to do blah, 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 blah. Because that's all people who get bullied think about all the time. There's got to be some angle in it, Johnny. There's something you're getting out of that, Johnny. No, I'm actually really, I love the Lord God with all my heart, soul, mind, and strength, and He fills me up with so much love that I love my neighbor as myself, and then ultimately the neighbor's not even a big enough cup for all that love, and I got to go out into all the world and make disciples. I mean, there's just love going crazy all over the place. The world does not understand it, because all the world understands is survive another moment. Get paid one more time. Get a vital pleasure one more time. Just get yours. And then once you get it, you protect it. You wall up your perspective, your mind, your eyes, your Facebook friend list. Everybody that's a problem is out. Every tension is out. And you put your fences up and live within those fences. That is the life of the victim of a bully. Not the life of someone that Jesus has set free. And Jesus is just a big old problem for people who are being bullied. Because Scripture says that, and I'm not being sarcastic here. Listen to this Scripture. We're called to fix our eyes on Jesus, the author and perfecter of faith. Why? Who for the joy set before Him endured the cross, despising its shame. Hebrews 12, 1 and 2. You know, it's one of my life verses. For the joy set before Him. What was that joy? Well, Paul takes it to the next level. Not only did He despise its shame, God highly exalted Him and bestowed on Him the name that is above every name, so that at the name of Jesus every knee should bow, in heaven and on earth and under earth, and every tongue confess that Jesus Christ is Lord, to the glory of God the Father. Why would God lift Him up? Because He destroys the person, the power, the thing that holds us prisoner. That is why. That's what His Son did for you and is doing for you now. But here's the problem, man. When you are free, sometimes you don't like being free. Went saw Get Out finally. I'm not recommending you go see it. If you're not a moviegoer that likes scary movies or something like that, I'm going to tell you what, that is a brilliant film. I may never watch it again. But that film is a film about what happens when you get pressed down and locked in slavery and what it takes to get out. Unbelievable. I mean, really, kind of almost too. I really mean what I'm saying. I don't necessarily recommend you see it, but if you're that kind of person and you're interested, you should see it. It is important. But in Hebrews 2, Scripture says that Jesus would set free those who through fear of death were subject to slavery all their lives. How did He do it? Well, He saw us. We were flesh and blood, right? I mean, we got skin and bones and all that. Anxiety, jacked up mental hardware. So Jesus, it says in Hebrews 2, to be very clear, became flesh and blood. The reason why it doesn't say He became a man is because the writer of Hebrews is trying to emphasize everything you had, He had. Everything you dealt with, He dealt with. Jesus had times, man, when He had to go to the bathroom so bad, He did not know if He's going to be able to find a tree. He had times when He ate the wrong thing. He had times when He wanted to eat and didn't have anything to eat, got hungry, and did not turn stones into bread the way Satan tempted Him to do. He was the only person in history who was not tempted in like this part of the pie chart of sin, but the entire pie chart. In every way He was tempted, and yet was found without sin. In fact, Satan came in Him so strong, he said, if you're the Son of God, command the stones to become bread. And Jesus said, no. Man does not live by bread alone. So Jesus, in His prayer time, in His scripture time, literally, like His, I should not make this Bible. I've been using my paper Bible again, though I've used a Kindle for so long to read scripture because I can save all my words in it. Jesus is coming out of that time and using stuff that you and I have to defeat Satan. So the devil takes Him up, shows Him all the kingdoms of the world in a moment of time, which is a powerful thing to do because that means that Satan can see outside of time a bit himself. That make sense? So He's flexing His muscle a little bit with Jesus. Oh, you didn't know I had that, did you? I can show you everything in a moment of time. And He said to him,
I will give all this authority to you and their glory, for it has been delivered to me. And I give it to whom I will. He says it twice because he's a bully, he's a coward, and he has to say everything twice in order to believe in himself. If you then will worship me, it will all be yours. Jesus said to him, you shall worship the Lord your God, and him only you shall serve. Temptations go on and on and on, and Jesus resists. And the hard thing about this is that you get tempted like this every day. Now, your temptations from Satan can be different than what Jesus' word from him right there in the moment. Okay? And the whole phrase, like I know there's a lot of temptations from Satan. I'm not ready to even think about that. Well, then don't think about Satan for a moment if you don't want to. But just think about temptation. We all know when we're being tempted. Let me tell you that there is a tempter who tempts. And there's a tempter who tempts so well that he doesn't even have to tempt you the next time. It's like one of these little bots or things that Ken and I talks about. Once it's in the system, it can just go on loop and just keep on tempting and tempting and tempting and tempting. Satan's taking a nap someplace, not even dealing with it. It's just in your system. And that will create in you a mindset like those men and women and soldiers had at the foot of the cross. Show me you can save yourself. Show me you can save yourself. Because there's this feeling inside that you can never be saved. I'm going to get tempted, Johnny, and I'm going to fail. And Jesus didn't have anything for me. That's the feeling that we can have. Well, let me tell you what he's done. Remember this? This is going back in our series. You remember this? Jesus goes to his hometown synagogue. And he tells them, I'm going after the PCBO. The poor, captive, blind, and oppressed. The PCBO. He quotes a year of Jubilee scripture. Which, as far as I can tell, the year of Jubilee was ever observed in the history of the Hebrew people. Which is really depressing me. And I'm looking for an example of when it actually was observed. I hope I find one. I really do. But as far as I can tell, it was never observed, but citing it was enough for Jesus' hometown to rise up in wrath and go get him. And they took him and they wanted to throw him off a cliff and kill him. And what did Jesus do? I'll do it one more time. Jesus might have done this. I love that teaching. Sorry. You got to work it one more time on Easter. And in the synagogue there was a man who had the spirit of an unclean demon, and he cried out with a loud voice, "Ha! What have you to do with this Jesus of Nazareth?" What did Jesus do to him? Be silent and come out of him. That's what he did. And this man flips out. But the scripture says he wasn't harmed at all. And then he set free. Then Jesus tells Simon Peter and all of his business partners, throw your nets out one more time into deep water. What happened then? Let me hear it. Massive load of fish, right? Had they caught any fish before? None. You think about that. I shouldn't even have to break down the metaphor at this point. They caught no fish. And they already said, well, we've already fished all night, but because you say we'll cast out again. And boom, they catch all these fish. And they're selfish and they start sinking their own boats. Simon Peter says to Jesus, get away from me, I'm a great sinner. And Jesus just says, hush, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. I'm going to make you a fisher of men. I'm going to transform you. That's what he's saying. I'm going to transform you. I'm going to use you, transform you, work through you. Just wait. I don't know if you guys know who Jeffrey Sloan is, but he was a top red carpet photographer, interviewer specifically. He didn't take some photos, but I keep misspeaking that, even in my notes. He committed suicide about 6 months ago, and it's blown the elites in Hollywood away. And I'm not going to tell you his full story right now, but let me tell you a couple facts. Number one, what I do know is, so I heard a boom, and I just PTSD. Sorry, a little Easter PTSD there. All right, coming back. He was the most handsome guy in his high school, according to Julianne Moore, the actress whom he dated. And he broke up with her. He was brilliant. He taught himself, I believe, 4 languages, spoken fluently. He was the interviewer that if he got Robert Redford on the red carpet, Redford would say, "I never forgot that moment for the rest of my career." He was just one of those guys that knew how to ask the right questions. And today, the Hollywood elites, I'm not going to name their names because I want to respect their pain, even though some of their arts, I'm not crazy about some of these artists, but Julianne Moore I think is amazing. But everybody's blown away by it, and they don't know what to do about it. And that's the thing they keep saying is, we don't understand it. We don't understand it. Let me tell you what happened. Here are the facts. Facts are, he found out he had a form of cancer. He had to start fighting that cancer, start taking treatments, okay? It's kind of a rare form of cancer. And he ended up losing his job. And I don't know why he lost his job. It was at Allure. He was there for 25 years. He won prizes. He used to say, "I make 80s money." Because that's when the magazine business was booming, was in the 1980s. So he used to always tell these young bucks coming in, these little hipster interviewers on the red carpet, he said, "I make 80s money." And he just had this way of asking you a question that would put you off guard if you were a celebrity, but not enough that you wouldn't answer the question. Does that make sense? And in that opportunity, was taken. Now he's putting his resume together and he's applying new things. He's going out and he's doing new things. And one day he posted on Facebook that he was struck by how tired he was. Surprised and shocked him. And then from a second story, not a third or fifth or 10th story, a second story. Everybody down the streets in New York saw him jump. And then he was gone. Why? We just don't understand. And in one article I read just about 3 articles, not a ton, just the story's really been moving me. One of the writers kept saying he was always happiest when he was on the red carpet. He was always happiest when he was on the red carpet. And here's what's heartbreaking, and I'm not interpreting his story. I mean, I can't imagine what his family's going through right now. But let me tell you, if what you're seeing on the other side of the lens is not telling you it's okay to be weak, it's okay to get sick, it's okay to go through hard times, you're still my child, you will be with me forever, I will confine you, I will come restore value to you. If that's not what you're seeing on the other side of the lens or on the other side of the microphone that you're using in an interview, then why would you feel all right with weakness when it finally shows up? You know what you're going to feel like? You're going to feel worthless. You're going to feel like the bully stinking owns your world, is beating you down into the earth, and nobody's running out their homes to do nothing about it. And then in your mind on loop, you're thinking, that's the rest of my life, that's the rest of my life, that's the rest of my life. Guys, I'm telling you, that is what the sin mentality does. Somebody said to me the other day, Christians don't talk about sin anymore. I don't know if that's true or not, but I'll talk about it. We all deal with it. And there's not a single person, whether they're a Christian or not Christian, that's going to deny that such a thing exists. Sin means, in the Greek, missing the mark. When we miss the mark at work, in marriage, in relationships, it haunts us. If we keep missing the mark, it defines us. We end up sitting on a couch talking to somebody about it. If we keep missing the mark, then it becomes who we are. And we hate that. And then we got to flip who we are, or change how we look, or we change our environment, or change our job. We have to change it because, and the problem is no amount of change that we ever achieve is ever going to do it. It's never going to satisfy it. There's nobody, we can interview every single Oscar winner on the other side of that microphone, but when cancer shows up and when the job is lost, we're going to have to deal with that. And you can't deal with it alone. If you're alone, that's when the bully rises up and just starts doing his work. You need somebody who will stand in that with you. And this is the next story in Luke that I want to talk about. There's a guy with a withered hand. Can't do anything with a withered hand. Are you following me? Can't work a job. Viewed as a sinner because that's not how people view folks with disabilities back in the day. And all these Pharisees and priests are looking at Jesus. They want him to do a miracle so bad because then they can bust him because it's the Sabbath. All right? And Jesus knew their thoughts. And he said to the man with the withered hand, "Come and stand here." So Jesus knows their thoughts, right? And so instead of being like, I'm totally going to heal you. Okay. But let's just go over here. It's almost over. Sit in the back with all the other disabled people, okay? I will be right out. I've got to talk to 2 old ladies and a rabbi that knew me when I was in middle school. And then I'll be right out and I'm going to heal you, okay? He says, come and stand here in the midst of everybody. That's what, remember, if you're hearing me, this is what you do to bullies. You bring it right front and center. And he rose and stood there. And Jesus said to them, this is how he's addressing the bullies. I ask you, since I know you're thinking it in your thoughts, is it lawful on the Sabbath to do good or to do harm? To save life or to destroy it? That's what we call in the world of rhetorical analysis a loaded question or a complex question. There's no way to answer it without being guilty. And after looking around at all of them, and I just had this image of Jesus just looking like Clint Eastwood at all of them. He says to this guy, stretch out your hand. And he did so. And his hand was restored. But they were filled with fury and discussed with one another what they might do to Jesus. They wanted to kill him. Because you don't come into my house, number one, and tell me that you have more control than I do. In my little under the bully world, I've worked out this little religious thing where I kind of manipulate these people and keep them in their boxes. And I don't want you collapsing my boxes, Jesus. I like the disabled where they are. I like the Samaritans where they are. And I like the people in position of power within our little oppressed world where they are. Don't mess with my system. And Jesus comes in and blows the whole thing up. Because at that moment, he no longer has a withered hand. And the only place that hand is withered is in their memory. It's like Simon, it's like Simon the leper. He's not a leper anymore, but they still call him Simon the leper because, I mean, I guess that was his name. Well, you know, Lazarus, who once was dead. He's only dead now in memory. He's alive now. Well, I'm going to invite up my brother Joe. And my brother Joe is going to... Woo, Joe! Yeah! He'll use his microphone, so come over here. And he's going to share with us a little bit about what Jesus has done in his life.
How you all doing? Happy Easter to you. And thanks for having me here. And it's been a long journey for me. And I'd just like to say to y'all that I was a bully in my life. You know, the only bully I had was me because I never seemed to take the right choices. And I stayed up every night for 40 years and 40 days. I ran shows. I was a homeless leader. I was this, I was that. It was all about me, and that's all that mattered. And for some reason, I wouldn't put down my sword or surrender to Jesus. And I went through a lot of misery and a lot of pain. And wherever I went, the ground was rattling and everybody around me was rattling. It was quite a serious show. And the bully was me, the whole bully of the whole program, because I had choices, but I wouldn't surrender to God. And it's just a pleasure to be up here and say to y'all that I finally surrendered to God. And now I get to go to sleep at night. Whatever I've done. I can't change it because I've already done it, you know. And I'm not proud of the things I've done, but I'm proud of the way that I think right now that Jesus has really worked in my life. Because there's people that know me, and if they could see me right now, they'd say there is a God. Because they don't believe in God until they see this, you know, because he turned the water into wine. I killed the old Joe Wall that I used to be. And he was a nightmare. He was a robot. he never stopped. Every night I stood up and I would think, what have I done, God? What have I done? I can't, I couldn't understand it. And what I did is I wouldn't surrender to God, and I wouldn't put down my sword. And I believed that I was running the show and I didn't need God. And he let me live through a lot of hard times. I've had some things happen to me that are probably not as worse than some people, but they were pretty bad. And I just want to say thank you for having me at the church here. And I got baptized here. And I can really get up here to say this with all my heart. By putting down my pride, I put a lot of other things up in the air. And I thank you for everything, you guys. And I thank you, Jesus, the main person in the world, He's helped me get through a lot of hard times, a lot of misery. And if there's anybody out here listening to this and they're going through what I went through, don't torture yourself anymore. Just let God handle it and it'll be okay. Because we're not God, there's only one God, For some reason, the bully in me wouldn't listen to that, And I did talk to my family for 12 years and so on and so forth, and it was the bully. I wouldn't listen, I wouldn't surrender to God. And I'm so glad I can come up here and tell you, I finally surrendered to God, and now I can sleep at night, and I can have a little peace in my mind, Thank you for everything, and that's all I want to say.
They may see you in the door, very well spoken, the microphone, which you are, and never assume some of the struggles that you had were struggles. And I'm not asking you to air things out, but if you could be a little more specific with some of those things, I think that would have power. And,
well, I'll say one thing. Like, for instance, one Easter Sunday, I went to church. And, the police had to escort me out of there and everything, I was at a Catholic place in church, and I went up and I started arguing with the priest. Because he would give me wine and crackers, and it was so ridiculous, that I turned around, there were 2,500 people in this church, and, the police came, they escorted me out of there, and I got out of the church and everything, and I was sitting out in my car, and I thought, well, I did it again. The bully in me just took over again, and I wouldn't listen, and there were times that people died in front of me at work, and I would run the show, and I put a frame around them, and I kept pouring the concrete. I was a form setter, and I remember looking at all these people, and they were looking at me like, oh my God, what is up with it? It's cold as a stone, I just was, I was riding the wrong way. I wasn't listening to Jesus, and I wouldn't give up. And everything I did and everything I accomplished was incredibly impossible, but I did it. But at the end of the day, I was tore pretty bad, I spent most of my time passing out. I never went to sleep. And because I wouldn't surrender to God and listen to what He had to say, I suffered and I tortured myself and so many others around me. And there's nothing I can do to change all of that except for that I've changed myself through Jesus, And forever who's listening to this, I just like to know whatever you're going through, whatever you've done, you can't change it, what you've done, but you can change what you're going to do. And by listening to God, it sure saves a lot of pain. If I would have known this 40 years ago, I would have listened to myself. But the bully in me wouldn't listen, I had to do everything my way. It was either my way. I had no rules. It was not everything I wanted to do, I just did it. But no matter what I did, I could never be happy or satisfied or full. No matter how much money I had or how much attention was drawn to me, it was never enough. And now that I surrendered myself, I see myself in a whole different light, and it's a miracle. It really is a miracle to be honest, because I'm not ashamed to say what I've done or do what I did because I've already done it, but it's just all I had to do was sit down my sword and surrender to God and let Him have it. And I didn't know that it was that easy. I thought, how could anybody handle me after the things I've done? Because what I've done, I think, is not really so sweet, but God's forgiven me, and He's gave me another chance. I finally talked to my family, my sister, I hadn't talked to my family for 12 years. The bully in me and the pride was so high that, nobody get next to me. And no matter what happened around me, not a teardrop one come out of my eyes or anything. I was cold as a stone, And now I'm not that way. Now I got a little more compassion about things. I can cry, I can think, I can go to sleep, and all I had to do was listen to Jesus. Amen. It was that simple, but I was so complex that when you're stupid, you're smart. Because, stupid people have to think about everything they do. Because it's a manipulation, running with the bad person, And And so anyways, thank you for having me here, and happy Easter to you all, and mainly happy Easter to Jesus, because there really is a Jesus. And I mean, I didn't know why I put myself through so much pain to figure it out, but I did it, because of bullying me with Muslims. But he's gone now. We finally got rid of him, you know. I mean, there was times I think, thank you, God.
They didn't arrest you that day, did they? They arrested you that day at that Catholic church?
No, they let me go.
They did?
But they've arrested me on many other cases. They put me in straight jackets and so on and so forth. You know, I did 900 classes almost in Angry under classes. Yeah, I had 880 classes or 90. And, you know, I used to be a real, you know, listen, I was the bully in my life, because nobody's ever done anything to me. I did it to myself. Because you have choices, and like, so easy to make the right choice, but when you're playing stupid, you don't do that. And all you gotta do is let God handle things and do the right thing. And Matthew 22:37, I was going to believe in that. And I appreciate that you all let me come to your church.
We love you, man. We're so proud that they're in our lives.
Woo! And I'm not alone, John. There's a lot of other people out there that are more complicated than me, but they won't surrender to God. And if they do, they'll find out at night they'll lay down and go to sleep. But they're not going to sleep. I can go to sleep now. I never went to sleep. I either passed out or woke up in the paramedic tent. You know, thank God for paramedics. They're angels. They probably got a lot. You know, I'm very blessed.
Well, when Jesus is crucified, he takes with him all the stuff that held Joe in chains, that held me in chains, that held you in chains, or anybody else in chains, and he takes that stuff into death. And in a minute, we have the honor of baptizing Jordan. And we love this young man. I've known him for years, and the steps that he's been taking in his life are huge. And Jordan is not a boastful man. He's a very humble man. Nobody knows the challenges that this young man is facing. They have been significant. But he's chosen to fix his eyes on Jesus, right? The author and perfecter of faith. And in a minute, when he goes down into that water, that's what going into the water symbolizes, is when Jesus went into the grave and he took all the sin, the jacked up stuff with him. And when he comes out of the water, it symbolizes when Jesus came out of the grave. Clean, free, which is what we want. And then if I can, you know, I'm a long preacher, so if I can give you a couple things real quick on where this freedom is supposed to lead us. And Paul had said it already when he says that we have a ministry of reconciliation, right? Well, one thing is, you have to remember that the bully has no power when you put your faith in Jesus, because greater is he who is in you than he who is in the world. Can we say that together? Greater is he who is in you than he who is in the world. Man, come on, one more time. Greater is he who is in you than he who is in the world. That's the truth. And John, the disciple Jesus loved, goes on to say, so, what do we do with this power? Let us love one another. For love is from God, and everyone who loves is born of God and knows God. Now I'm going to break some rules, and I may be messing with you a little bit, but just show me a little grace, okay? I want to talk a little bit about Leonard Dunham and some of the other writers that loved Jeffrey. They loved him. That's what they say. We loved him. How would this have happened? Well, there are many different Greek words for love. There's all sorts of different loves in the Greek. Lewis writes about it in the Four Loves, but he's not alone. There have been many who have chronicled the different expressions of love in the Greek. And this love is not filial or friendship love. We loved him. We don't understand what happened. It's not story of love. We had affection for him. We don't understand why this happened. This is agape love. And let me tell you how agape love works. This is what God is setting us free to do. Agape love sees drama in somebody else's life. And instead of working the life to avoid that drama, agape love says, I don't mean saying this is some of y'all, you've got some negative Christian voices in your head. Well, this is Messiah complex Johnny's talking about. Or this is you, oh, you gotta save the world, you gotta save the world. Those folks live under the thumb of a bully every day. And that bully owns their lives. And you stop listening to those people. Do you hear me?
Amen.
Because when you see somebody who is struggling, the love of you is, you have the ministry of reconciliation. Your ministry is to go to that person and to serve them. And if in the first 10 seconds you know, I can't help this person, that's fine. But you can only know that from the position of engagement. You can't know it from a distance. Especially if you just spend all your time legislating who you're going to love or not going to love. And so my heart cry for the world is that they would know what agape love is. I know you love him as a friend, and my heart's breaking for you. But agape love sees through the first-string quarterback, handsomest guy in the high school stuff. Agape love sees into the heart. Agape love sees, and that guy was on that red carpet 25 years. He has got to be broken. Agape love doesn't depend, though there's nothing wrong with medication. Agape love does not delegate its job to medicine in anyone's life. And let me tell you who struggles with that the most, and those are mega leaders. You got mega leaders all over in your jobs and your work. You don't even know who they are. And they are being medicated right now. And they need that medication because they have nobody to talk to about their weaknesses and the darkness that they're fighting every day. Because why would they not talk to them? It's the bully mindset. They're afraid to let any weakness be known. Because what's the bully going to do then? It's that fear that we walk in. You have to always have X-ray vision and see into people's hearts. That's what God is calling us to do. The one who does not love does not know God. And that word is agape. The one who does not, in fact, the word beloved, you know how John always used that word beloved? It's the agape people. That's what that word means. The people of agape. The New Testament is the place where the word agape is used. You can't really find it anywhere else. The people of agape, they live agape every day. And we're not talking about friendship or high fives or I'm blessed and I'm nice to my cashier at Target. We're talking about I will step through the phony boundaries of life and come and get you. Matthew 4, Jesus, people were sitting in darkness and upon them the light dawned. That light became flesh, dwelt among us from John 1:14. We beheld his glory. Jesus modeled it for us. He comes to us. You are to go to them. So it's time. What we want to do right now is we're going to take a couple minute break, okay? And I'm going to ask for some strong. Anybody got some guns? Any strong people in the room? JJ, all right? Okay, Sydney, all right? Rico. I'm going to ask that we would move under the guidance of Howie and Kelly. That we will move stuff to the side on the stage, because in a second, when we baptize Jordan, we're all of us going to come up on the stage. All right? Y'all ready? Yeah. Boom! Easter teaching done. Now let's baptize this boy. All right? You coming with me? We got to change.